irrespective of any of the other honours that we won, the FA Cup and the league. There's no doubt about it that the floodlight matches was something special.
Molineux was packed for the match between Wolves and the Hungarian club Honved.
The matches, we didn't treat them as friendlies. I mean, we were all out, and I'm sure they were as well.
It was marvellous to play with players who wanted to play, wanted to win. We never thought of losing.
We were the first team to take on teams like Honved, Spartak, Dynamo. That was the beginning of the European Cup.
Wolves have licked the greatest club side in the world. Their average age 24. These young Wolves prove that England need have no fears about the future of football.
Wolves were renowned, along with Manchester United, as being probably the biggest clubs in the country, particularly for getting young talent. I went there when I was 15. That was 1954, I'm guessing. You were a ground staff boy then. It was just before the apprentice scheme came out. To go to Wolves, the sort of talent they'd produced, it was a big honour.
Without a winning side, we wouldn't have a great manager, would we? And so let's introduce Stan Cullis now on my left.
Cullis, I think, is a really fascinating figure. He's got this real passion for the game. Players who played for him, opposing managers always talk about this great emotion, this anger he would have. But he believed in doing things the right way.
We were very fortunate in having a set of players that were not only skilled, but were very good fellows off the field. They were men of integrity.
He's a hard man, but with a very clear moral code.
How the heck did Billy used to win the balls in the air? Because he's such a short bloke, really, isn't he?
Billy Wright incorporated everything that you would want to see in your own son or your own idol. He lived the part.
He was great with us kids. He was brilliant. And one of my earlier recollections was he was contracted to do a commercial. And he roped 3 or 4 of us in, the young lads. And we were supposed to be autograph hunters, getting his autograph. And I think we got 10 bob each. Like that for doing it.
It's really a mechanical ball projector, believed to be the first machine to be used in training.
Once you have the floodlights, you can play midweek evenings, get big crowds. And of course, the spectacle is that much greater that you're focusing everything on the pitch. And they start experimenting with silky kits, so they shimmer under the lights.
Early days of floodlights, I remember we used to wear fluorescent shirts, most uncomfortable, and eventually they were discarded.
Must have felt like pulling a parachute behind you or something like that, I think the theory behind it all was that under lights they'd be easier to spot.
A floodlit occasion when even the linesmen's flags were illuminated.
Then TV gets interested, and particularly these games against the foreign teams, they're really exotic.
When television came in, most people had a team in England they supported, and my team were Wolves. It started to become theatre, and they were the best team around at the time, playing against foreign opposition, which hadn't happened before. Yeah, they used to get the Russians coming over and playing them, and to us kids, like the Russians, it was like they were like aliens. I mean, the Russians was a different world.
This idea of we can play a great Russian team, a great Hungarian team, that's an exciting thing to do.
England in white shirts take the field with their Hungarian opponents at Wembley.
Watched it on a friend's television because they were like mystery men. We didn't know quite what to expect.
Hungary were really good. They'd won the Olympic Games the previous year. They're on this 3-year unbeaten run. So the game was set up as the match of a century. People knew this was his big clash. And they also had 2 great young players in Josef Boštík, the deep-lying midfielder, and most significantly, Ferenc Puskás. Great goal-scoring inside left, great creator, but also the sort of tactical brain of the team.
Their third was a real beauty. Just watch the smart footwork by Puskás. Puskas, my God, I never got anywhere near him. They were such a great side. Trent Puskas on that particular day really chased me and did something that I shall never forget at Wembley.
Billy Wright had a great quote. He said, I went out and had to pay to get back in the ground. It sent me so far.
By 6 goals to 3, Hungary shatter the unbeaten home record England has held in 90 years of football.
For England, it is devastating because a lot of people just didn't see it coming. If you look at the headlines, it's a real sudden punch in the face. And then the following May, so May 54, England go to Hungary, to Budapest, and we lose 7-1. It just confirms they are way, way better than us. What are they doing that we're not?
I was relatively young, but certainly the year that Wolves won the First Division Championship, from that point onwards, I took a lot of interest. Every alternate Saturdays when the first team played at home, that was a major part of our life. I always remember when, from 3 o'clock onwards on a Saturday, we'd open all the windows because we could hear the crowd roar. Even at that age, I knew it was something a bit special. At least 6 members of the Hungarian national team were playing for Honved, so we thought, what a game this is going to be.
I think myself and 1 or 2 of us younger lads should have got more credit for the result than we did.
Cullis had realised that the way Honved and Hungarians played was nice short passing. Well, let's not give them a carpet to pass on, let's make it muddy.
It's been hammering it down for ages. And Stan Cullis has got us on the pitch, all the young lads, with hose pipes and that, watering the pitch, and it's bucketing down.
It was the first time I'd seen the first team play, coupled with the fact that it was the first time I'd ever seen a game at night. And as I walked up the steps, the image of that vast area of green so vividly shown under those floodlights, it's something that you'll just never forget. It's probably one of the most vivid memories I've got.
I always remember Bill Slater. Stan said to us when we went there, he said, Bill, when Puskas gets it on his left leg, close him down.
I was wing harp and had the job of marking him, and he was a very fine player.
It isn't long before Puskas got to his left leg, you see, and Bill goes to tackle him. He goes, whoop, ole, and Bill goes straight underneath it.
The Hungarians seem to settle down first on the mud pie pitch.
Within 10 minutes, they opened the scoring through Cullis.
Cullis was brilliant in there, absolutely brilliant. He was a counter for Puskas. Puskas got the skill with the shooting ability, but Cullis was always on that far post. He always jumped at the right time.
Then 4 minutes later, Honved centre-forward Machas made it 2-0.
We didn't expect to go 2-0 down quite so soon. We were just hoping we could keep it down from double figures, knowing what the Hungarians were capable of.
I thought we were holding our own quite well, and our manager, Stan Cullis, amazingly, seemed very confident that we were going to take the game in the second half.
I said to the players, now look, you go out and play the same as you played the first half, and I'll be well satisfied.
Early in the second period, right-winger Hancock's was most obviously fouled by Kovacs. The referee awarded a penalty. Hancock's took it and scored.
As the game went on, the pitch was very heavy because it had rained all that day, and I don't know whether the Hungarian players had been used to playing on a quagmire.
The Honved lads must have thought, what is this? They're trying all their little give and goes, and they're giving it, but it ain't going.
In the 76th minute, Swinbourne equalised. And in the 77th minute, Swinbourne scored what proved to be the winner.
We had a beautiful photograph in the Wolves boardroom with Puskas coming off, and I'm shaking hands with Puskas and Bert Williams standing over there, you see. That's something I've always treasured.
What did the manager say afterwards?
He was never very forthcoming with his praise. If he patted you on the back, that was on. But on this occasion, he actually come out on the pitch and put his arms around us and said, well done. I came off the pitch, and I mean, I must admit, I'd got tears in my eyes, and so did Billy Wright. We came into the dressing room, and even Stan Cullis had got tears in his eyes.
It suddenly hits you how great a game that was. I think what the attendance was 55,000, and I was thinking that, 55,000 people, they are all going to feel the same way as I do, that these games like that don't happen very often.
Wolverhampton Wanderers became Wolverhampton Wondermen, club champions of Europe. Oh. Heroes of fighting football when they had fought and finally had played.
The press were very kind to us. They gave us a good write-up afterwards, stating that here was the rebirth of English football.
So the Daily Mail goes with the headline, Wolves, champions of the world. And of course for the rest of the world, that's pretty annoying. In France, there's a real kickback against that. So Gabriel Hanno, editor at L'Equipe, the great sports paper, reads this article in the Daily Mail and he's outraged by it. And his response is to say, well, yeah, actually, we should do this properly. We can't just have people declaring themselves champions of the world. Let's organise a European Cup. This is the real impetus of, well, if we're playing these friendlies, if we've got this capacity to have these floodlit games, if people are taking them so seriously that the English press are declaring that the English team, the champions of the world, let's actually turn this into a tournament and let's decide who's the champions of Europe.
When I talk to Wolves fans and I say, tell me the greatest match in Wolves history, it's amazing how many, even people that weren't around at that time but have been brought up on the legend of the game, if you like, will go, Honved. For me, it's still the standout game in Wolves history. And it was a friendly.